Well, hello, welcome. Okay, hey guys. Hello. I know that you're like watching Amy Coney Barrett just slay it in the hearings right now, and you're like, conservative mama can wait. But I have to come on because that's what I do on Tuesdays. I come on and I talk to you. And I'm here with producer Rob, who's behind the scenes with Hicks Video. He's producing. We're going to talk Amy Coney Barrett. We're going to talk Biden refusal to answer if he'll pack the Supreme Court. And what else do we have? Oh, a very special guest, my sister, who will be joining us shortly. I am one of 7 children, just like, so this is like big family week in America. I am one of 7. I married a guy. My husband is one of 6. So I know big families. I know the dynamic. I absolutely love it. If I had got married younger, I probably would have had a larger family. But my sister, who is one of the 7, is going to be joining us shortly. I have 3 sisters and 3 brothers. So 4 girls in the family, and she's going to be joining us. I can see her behind the scenes right now. She's super special. Going to be joining us. Let me say hi really quick. Hello, Francis, Linda. Hello, Mitch, Mary. What's up? Maria. Hey, Roy. Thanks for joining. Cameron, Linda, Andrew. Hey, guys, get in here. I know you're watching Amy Coney. I get it, Barrett. I get it. I know it. You're like, why are you on? I'm busy. I am too. The minute I end the show, I'm going to go back to watching her. And I'm thinking, okay, my mother is like she's my most admired woman in my life. My mom, I adore her. She's an incredible woman of faith. And close second now is going to be Amy Coney Barrett. She's phenomenal. I don't know if I am blown away by this woman's intellect, but to everything else that surrounds her. I mean, she's her relationship with her husband, her children, her professional career, her faith, everything. I'm just like, wow, like she is the perfect example of a woman that is just blessed by God. And I am so excited to watch these hearings. I'm so excited to watch her speak. I just, it's inspirational. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are feeling that too. It's inspirational. And I'm like, I want to tell my daughters, look at this woman. This right here is the role model. This is the role model. This is what we should be telling our children to role model off after. Forget Hollywood. Forget Cardi B. Forget those people. Forget Beyonce. Amy Coney Barrett. Okay, that's your role model, young ladies that are watching. Phenomenal. Absolutely just blowing my mind right now. I can't get enough of it. I'm like, wow. And then how she'll talk about these different cases off the top of her head. It's like, what? Just case after case after case. I'm like, wow. And she knows exactly what she said about each case after she reviewed them. And it's amazing. And I have a new respect for a new curiosity about going more in depth to law, the world of law. So it's been pretty cool. But I want to start out, because since I've joined you, we have heard the Biden campaign continuously say that they refuse to answer whether they're going to pack the Supreme Court. Over and over again, they keep getting asked. Harris in last week's debate with Vice President Mike Pence refused to answer. And I just want to say this, a refusal to answer is your answer, okay? A refusal to say whether or not you're going to pack the Supreme Court is them saying they're going to pack the Supreme Court. Okay, for 150 years, we've had the precedence of 9 Supreme Court justices. And now, because the Biden can't, they don't like this Amy Coney Barrett. They don't like that she's a constitutionalist. They don't like it. They want to bring someone on there that rules politically instead of according to the Constitution. They just want it to be a big political circus at the Supreme Court. And they want to appoint judges that will rule as they want them to rule. And that would be a huge monopoly if let's say Biden becomes president and they take they take the House of Representatives and then they take the Senate. We're looking at the end of America as we know it, the end of our Bill of Rights. They are coming for our Second Amendment. They're coming for our First Amendment. They're coming for all of it. I was just looking at some of the things that I believe that they would overturn. They'd take the second. They would overturn Citizens United, which gives private citizens the right to come out and speak out against politicians and the government. The Citizens United case, I'm sure you guys might have heard Senator Ted Cruz talking about it. They made a video that was negative. A private organization made a video that was negative on Hillary Clinton, and they wanted to rule against it. They don't want people being able to put money into things and coming out against politicians and the government. And the Supreme Court said, no, you're allowed to speak ill of politicians and the government. And the liberals would overturn this ruling. Also, they will shut down religious liberty. They will come in and they will force pastors and priests to go against the word of God and do things that completely contradicts the Bible. I hope people understand that. They will do that if they take the courts. They'll do that. I mean, they'll do that, and it'll go to the courts. And if they also have the courts, we're looking at the end of our Bill of Rights. Like I said just a few minutes ago, they will abolish the Electoral College. That's gone. That is gone. And they will grant amnesty. The reason why they want to grant amnesty is because they want all of those people to then vote Democrat. So no one ever is Republican or conservative is ever voted for again. And that's the end. That's when the socialist state comes in. That's when you see communism. We are so close to that. November 3rd is so much more than Trump. And that's what I keep telling people. It's not about Trump. Whether you like Trump, whether you don't like Trump, this is a fight for freedom. This is a fight for our Bill of Rights. It's a fight for our individual liberty. And if we don't come out in support of Trump strong, we could lose it. And I don't want to be like Reagan saying at one point, I don't know the quote, the exact words, but I will look back on the days that we spoke of the day that when we had freedom. I don't know. You might want to look that up, Rob. It's a specific quote. It's beautiful, but I refuse to be that generation that tosses our freedom away. We have to turn up, guys, on November 3rd. And I mean landslide victory here. So we just shut down all this mail-in ballot crap and all this stuff. So that's what this is a huge thing. Okay, Amy Coney Barrett, because she's just amazing, and I can't talk enough about her. But it was funny because so this is kind of a viral thing that's broken out over the last probably hour. Is people observed that Amy Coney Barrett literally she's sitting at a desk, like no notes, like okay, like you have senators, you have congressman, there's always stacks of papers. I mean, it's just papers or even with Kavanaugh. I mean, there's notes, just all over. She's sitting there, empty table. She's got a little notepad in front of her, microphone. And people are like, oh my gosh, she's literally saying all this from memory. It's all in here. Like, how brilliant is a mind that can hold all of this information that she's not thumbing through, or what did I say on that case, or what were my thoughts on that? She doesn't have to do any of that. She knows it. Just it's all here. So she even held up her piece of paper that she had in front of her and just showed that it was blank. Like, you know, it was there just in case she needed to jot down something, and so now memes have gone all over, and I want you to drop them here too, guys, in the comments. But memes have gone all over. This is one of my favorites here. We've got I don't know the gender. I never have known the gender of this viral. I mean, I don't know how they identify, but whoever they are screaming at the top of their lungs. That happened when Trump was sworn in 2016. This one of my favorites, just because China, you guys know, has been such a hot topic for me over the last month and a half. We're really going hard after China and exposing the Chinese Communist Party and what they're doing to their people over there, how they're buying up our politicians, they're buying up our media, they're buying up Hollywood, they're buying up our sports, our entertainment. China is a force to be reckoned with, and we need to come out strong against them because their goal is to rule the world. But a lot of people don't know is that Senator Feinstein, is it Feinstein or Feinstein? I don't know. It just depends on how you want to say it, Rob. I don't know. But she is in bed with the Chinese, and I'm talking in bed. Like I'm talking like in bed with the Chinese for the last 40 years. I started to look at all of the stuff that she's done with the Chinese and her close friendships with people in the Chinese Communist Party. Now, you can't be someone high up in the Chinese Communist Party and not be aware of the religious persecution place over there, the concentration camps that are formed over there, the abuse of animals that take place over there, the abuse of the slave labor that's taking place over there. The CCP implements this. They like allow that's their thing. And Feinstein and her husband have made quite a lot of money working with the communist China regime. And she loves him. She said, I think in my past life, I was Chinese or something like that. There's a quote from Feinstein saying that. Yeah, like it's deep, deep, deep. This woman goes with the Chinese. Also, you guys, I don't know if you remember this, but she had a Chinese spy in her staff for 20 years. 20 years. I'm not talking like, a couple months. But like, what? 20 years this guy was by Feinstein's side. We don't know. He was part of the CCP. He was a spy. He was a bad guy. And we don't know. They haven't really just fully disclosed whether she knew or whether she didn't know or details on that. But it's really, really shady. And I'm surprised that it hasn't been covered in a broader light. If you had somebody in your camp that was part of the enemy camp in your camp for 20 years, that, first of all, you have no ability to discern the people around you, because this guy was reporting back to the Chinese Communist Party, giving them secrets, top information. I mean, who knows all that Senator Feinstein had been exposed to working in her field. I mean, these people are privy to top secret information, intelligence information, and we don't know if this guy might have gotten that information or been around it with her. Who knows? So that's why I love that meme, because we know about China and everything that Feinstein. That's why, guys, this China thing is such a big, big deal. So without further ado, I do want to briefly introduce my sister, Lydia. She does a ton of different things. Okay. She's pretty savvy. She's out in DC. She's all over the globe. Lots of travel she does. She's worked on several different committees. She's worked on several different PACs. She's worked on political campaigns. She's really done it all. And she is one of the most incredible women of faith in my life. I think it's very important for women and men to have other people that you can go to for prayer, that you can go to for counsel, that you can go to for advice, that can pray for you and pray with you. And Lydia is one of these people. She's just on fire for God. She's got an incredible testimony of how God has continuously moved in her life. And right now she's working on several different things, but she also is the communications director for Save the Persecuted Christians. And a lot of people don't understand that Christianity is a huge faith that is persecuted around the world. So I want to bring Lydia on just to talk about it. She can address China. She can address all over the world. So Lydia, welcome. Join me. Get in here. I'm excited that you're my sister.
Hey. Oh my gosh. How are you?
It's on. I'm good. How are you?
Funny. I'm wonderful. Although I live in DC, I'm actually in the home right now, house sitting that we grew up in. So this is one of the rooms in the house. You get a little sneak peek into conservative mama's home. But yeah, no, thank you for that intro. I'll just always have you introduce me from now on. You make me sound so great.
Okay.
So what do you want to know?
So where do you want to start? Well, thank you for coming on. What kind of got you into this whole area of Save the Persecuted Christians? Because you were heavily involved mostly in the political realm, and now you've kind of found yourself in a different area. What kind of brought you in that direction?
The Lord. I left the Trump administration at the end of last year, and God brought me into the 501c3 area. And somebody that I worked with on the Trump campaign, asked me to come on board with Save the Persecuted Christians. And ever since then, I've just been downloaded with a lot of difficult information, learning about the persecution of people just like you and I, that we do freely. We worship, we pray, we go to church. But when you start studying other countries and what they're going through, the persecution is at an all-time high. Christianity is actually the #1 most persecuted religion in the world. There are countries that are actually going through Christian genocides, like Nigeria. My heart is very much with Nigeria. They're experiencing violence like we could never imagine. But then places like Pakistan and India are dealing with starvation and stuff like that. So I just, there's just a lot of stuff to talk about. I don't know how deep you want to go.
Right. Well, right. No. I think a lot of people, we hear about that here in America, but we don't really understand what that looks like. Like, I remember when Obama was president, and I remember the Islamic State specifically going after Christians in the Middle East. I remember like Iraqi Christians were fleeing the country, and it was just, and there was a lot of highlight then. And then I also do remember Boko Haram during the Obama administration as well, and that's Nigeria. Yep. Can you talk, because when we were talking earlier, you were talking that the heaviest persecution is taking place in Nigeria. Why is that?
Well, the heaviest violence of persecution. Okay. So the world, there's a list that's put out every year. It's called the World Watch List, and they rank the countries around the world from 1 to 50 on persecution for Christians. Nigeria is ranked number 12, but it has a 99% violence rate. So what they're experiencing is incredibly violent because of Boko Haram, which is one of the terrorist groups from Nigeria. Boko Haram has sworn allegiance to ISIS. They actually refer to themselves as the Islamic State of West African Providence. So they believe that it is their duty and their job to spread Islam. But not only do Nigerian Christians have to deal with that, they also have to deal with Fulani extremists. So Nigeria is made up of many different tribes, one of which is the Fulani. But there's a sect of the Fulani that believe that the Christian farmers are taking over their land. So they go into these farmers' lands and they brutally attack them, often kill them. And I work with the International Committee on Nigeria, and our biggest concern for a long time has been, what if Boko Haram and Fulani militants join forces? And over the last couple of months, there's been images of those groups getting together and joining forces. And if that happens, I mean, the persecution for Christians, Nigerians can't defend themselves. There's no guns, you can't even own a machete. And so they have no place, they have no way to defend themselves. If Boko Haram has very advanced weaponry, and if they start giving that weaponry to Fulani, the Fulani militants, not Fulani as a whole, Fulani militants, the Christians really have to face what's about to happen. But the interesting thing, and I do want to mention this because this is a shout out for Trump. The president of Nigeria is President Buhari. He is Fulani. So he never talks about he will talk about Boko Haram, but he never mentions Fulani extremists. But he came to America 2 years ago. And in the Rose Garden in 2018, President Trump looked at President Buhari and asked him point blank, why are so many Christians dying in Nigeria? And believe it or not, the violence in Nigeria went down to almost nothing for nearly 6 months after President Trump made that comment. So since then, it has gone back up. It's at an all-time high now. But what that shows is the authority and the power and the respect and awe that Trump holds and that other countries hold for him, to make such a small comment like that, to reach all the way to Nigeria, that the violence nearly came to a cease. I mean, it shows, how much we need to be praying for Trump and the authority that he has as a president.
Right. Now, is there any kind of policy being implemented or anything that's being done right now to help the Nigerian people or to help just Christian persecution in general? Like, what specifically does your organization do right now to kind of highlight and bring that more into a main topic?
So we out in DC with the International Committee on Nigeria, we've been pushing for the president to appoint a special envoy. And a special envoy would go in and basically study what's going on, report back to America, and see what needs to be done to stop the violence. Unfortunately, The Secretary of State, Secretary Pompeo, said that he's not interested in appointing that right now. And there's a lot of politics. There's a lot of people within the State Department that are saying, there's no issue there. Christians aren't being persecuted. And so it's really kind of an internal struggle, a battle that we're dealing with right now. The political appointees are saying, no, there is a problem, but a lot of the careers are saying there isn't. So right now we got this news not long ago that Pompeo was not interested in appointing an envoy. So we kind of feel like we're back at ground zero, but there's lots of prayer. There's lots of people, contributing to this and trying to bring awareness to it. And I think if the religious community starts to become aware and starts to talk about what is happening to our brothers and sisters in Nigeria, I believe that can help to bring awareness and maybe move the political realm in a way that we alone couldn't.
Yeah. Now you said the political appointees and then state people or whatever.
Yeah, the careers. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, careers. Can you just explain to the audience what that means?
Oh yeah. So with every administration, an administration gets about 4,000 political appointees. So I was a political appointee for the Trump administration. So just to do some numbers, for instance, at the VA, the Department of Veterans Affairs, there were, when I was there, about 20 political appointees, and there are 360,000 careers. So it can be difficult to move the needle when you're working, against an uphill battle, but at the same time, it's always possible. So yeah, there's a group of careers, which is the vast majority of federal employees, and then there's a smaller group of politicals, which is appointed by the administration.
Right. And you would probably refer to the careers as the swamp. A lot of them in the swamp.
The leaders, yeah, a lot of the senior officials they've been there for a long time. Some of them have burrowed in. So what burrowing means is that you were appointed as a political appointee under, let's say, the Clinton administration. And then you found a career job to stay. So let's say you were appointed politically at the State Department. The administration leaves, you then get a career position, and you're there trying to implement that same administration's, desires for the next 20 some years, 30 some years till you retire. So a lot of these, when he refers to the swamp, a lot of them are senior officials and people who have burrowed in under past administrations.
Interesting. Okay. So as we close this out, I want to ask you, like, people that are watching, and because it's very hard. It's hard for me. You read a terrible story about Christian persecution and or concentration camps, or people having to go underground. I mean, in China, you have to go underground. There's underground churches, because if they find out that you're a Christian, they kill you, or they throw you in some kind of re-education camp. What can we do, like as busy moms and dads here in the United States, and we've got all this going on, but at the end of the day, before I'm a conservative, before I'm a Republican, I'm a Christian. Like that's that is my number one thing. And hearing you speak, I want to think, like, what can I do? Like, what can I do as a Christian to help my other brothers and sisters that are undergoing or in the midst of persecution, or they can't worship religiously and freely like we can. I mean, that's what so many people don't understand, Lydia, is, and I don't get it. I don't get the Catholics and the Christians out there that are going to go ahead and vote against religious liberty on November 3rd. It blows my mind. I'm like, do you realize what you're doing? Like, do you realize that you are giving your ability to worship, your faith, everything over to the state, and the state's going to shut it down? I mean, these people will shut it down. We've already seen persecution of people that want to do worship in different ways, or they believe in certain things, or they don't want to make something because it goes against their faith. We've seen the liberal left agenda come for these people, and they will come more and more and more and more. And we know it's going to happen more and more. But we have a moment to slow it down with a re-election of the president. So what can we do, though, as Christians here in the United States to help those across the globe?
Well, first of all, I want to approach the topic that persecution is happening in America. To think that we are only talking about persecution in other nations is silly, because what we have seen in California with the shutting down of churches, still not open, not allowed to worship, not allowed to congregate, but yet Antifa can get together and throw terrible riots in the streets. That is a form of persecution. We are walking through a door that will open us up to persecution. So to think that we're only talking about other nations is just a silly thing. And it's already coming here, but we can stop it. But the number one thing we can do as Christians is pray. We understand the power and the authority that happens when Christians come together and we join and we pray. You know, the word says 1 puts 1,000 to flight, 2 put 10,000. Think if all of the millions of Christians in America started praying over our persecuted brothers and sisters, think about the power and the authority we would have. But also you have to become aware. We, especially as Americans, live in a good bubble. We live in a bubble where we are safe, we are protected. And sometimes to talk about other things that hurt us breaks that bubble. But we have to become aware of what is happening to the persecuted brothers and sisters around the world, what they are experiencing in China with the concentration camps, what they are experiencing in Pakistan with starvation, and India with persecution. I mean, you can go through country like North Korea. We don't even know what's going on in North Korea because you can't even get into that country. So we have to become aware. And then I would say the other thing you can do is talk to your pastors about talking to their congregations about what is happening around the world, specifically China. This election is huge for China. This election is huge for America. China is one of the world's leaders in violating religious liberties. And so if we don't start talking about this from the pulpit, these are not political issues. I don't care who you are and what you say and what bill you're standing on. Talking about religious liberty is not a political issue. It is a religious issue that we need to be talking about from the pulpit. So if you're listening right now, I would set up a meeting with your pastor, email him, text him, her, whoever it is, and say, we need to be talking about what's happening to our brothers and sisters around the world because it is coming here. And this election is really going to set up the rest of our lives, really, if we don't get Trump in, not to scare everybody, but it's a big deal.
Right. It is a big deal. Well, Lydia, thank you so much for coming on. I want to have you on again. What are some websites that you would advise people to go to just to get more not politically informed, but more informed on these issues?
The number one website, I mean, there's two. So there's Save the Persecuted Christians.org, but then there's also iconhelp.org, ICON help.org. And that is for the International Committee on Nigeria. If you want to go, I would highly recommend people go and read about what is happening to Christians in Nigeria. It is a genocide. Many scholars have called it a genocide. And if we don't do something about it, then it's just going to get worse. And we could be, some people have even said that it is a future Rwanda. So we need to bring attention to that. So please go to those websites, donate if you can. $5 goes a long way. COVID has hit all nonprofits heavily. But anything you give to these two websites, know that it will be going directly to Christians in need.
Awesome, Lydia. Thank you, sister.
Thank you so much for having me on.
And I'll be joining. We pray on Fridays together,
Mm-hmm.
so I will be seeing you shortly in a few days.
I'm
Get
so
our prayer
excited.
on. I hope that everyone
excited.
watching right now is praying for this election. I hope that everyone is praying and interceding, praying for our president, praying for just victory, praying for Judge Amy Coney Barrett. We have, like Lydia said, we have to up our prayer right now. So just join together with others and be praying. So thank you, Lydia. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. You can leave the meeting if you want to. Sometimes, I'll have a guest on, and they're like, "Do I stay on or do I not stay on?" So you can always log out. Anyways, so that's the show, guys. I know I'm not going to make it too long because I know you guys want to go back and watch Judge Amy Coney Barrett just continue to impress. It's funny when you watch the liberals and the leftists and the Democrats question Barrett, they're not even questioning her. I don't know if you guys have noticed. They're like, they will literally start talking and they're like, I'm not going to ask you any questions. I'm just going to talk. So then they just talk and talk and talk. They're not asking her questions. They don't care. I mean, it's just clearly obvious. This woman is more than qualified. Confirm her, get her through, and let's win this election. That's what I gotta say. So get out there, knock doors. make phone calls, do what you got to do, guys. This is our hustle right now. We're in the thick of it. Do everything we can do to bring home victory. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank you for my sponsors, Americans for Limited Government. They're awesome. They have been a huge support to me. They are getting the word out. They're all over the place. They have a weekly, like it's a magazine, The Daily Torch. They have a whole Divest China organization that I highly recommend giving to, because they are literally bringing the heat when it comes to communist China, exposing all of that. So just go check out them, like their page, Americans for Limited Government, give them a like, follow them on Twitter. They bring a lot of information. Like I have learned a ton just from partnering with them. So check them out, guys. All right. That is, I also, I do speak. I would love to come to a speaking event. I've got one already booked in November. So people are starting to open up and invite invitations after COVID. That kind of got quiet, but now things are starting to open back up. So I'm excited about that. And if you want to sponsor the show, let me know. You can email me at rachel@conservativemomma.com. So yeah, that's my spiel. My audience is moms and dads that are super busy, because we're super busy. And that's how this whole thing started for me. I was so busy that I didn't look up and look around and really engage. And I realized, oh my gosh, that's a disservice to my children and to my future grandchildren. We have to plug in. We have to be involved. We have to know what's going on. And that is my mission, is to inform moms and dads in a concise way, because we don't have time to watch the news every day and all that. So it's so much. So if you can get it in a quick, concise way, that's what I try to do. So that's why, follow my page. All right. That's it. Rob, thank you so much. Behind the scenes, Rob. And Rob with Hicks Video, check them out if you ever need any kind of video, Zoom, conferencing, anything. He's like the master at it. So, all right, you guys, appreciate it. God bless. Go back to the hearings. We'll talk soon. Bye, guys.